Hello, good morning, everyone. I want to believe you can hear me. Please, yes, use the chat box to confirm you can hear me so we can get started. Good morning to you, sir. Loud and clear, very good. Thank you very much for the confirmation, sir. Larry YG Benga, thank you very much, sir. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Who else can I see? Immaculate, thank you very much for joining. Good morning to you, sir. You're welcome. Okay, so I believe we got enough confirmations already, and we can get started right away. So, good morning once again. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, all traders as well. And again, if it's your first time here, I say good morning to you too. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. You're most welcome, and it's great to have you join us on today's edition of our MMR Morning Market Review. All right. As a quick reminder, in this forum on a daily basis, we get to look at what's going on in the markets. All right, in terms of fundamentals and technical setups that we have. And we also do this with the hope that we'll be able to pick a few entries and trade ideas for uh, today's trading day and even for the rest of the week as well. All right. Without further ado, let's get right to it. Okay. So usually, I like to start with the majors, uh, the pairs with USD as one of the currencies. All right. And then from there, we start examining the other pairs as well. Okay. For the important key levels and trade setups, like I said. Okay, not too much for today in terms of fundamentals. So we're just going to get right to the technical setups that we have. All right. So permit me to share my screen uh, for the trading platform. Just a second while I do that. Okay, so I want to believe you can see my screen. Um, of course, this is the USD index. This is the USD index. If you are following this for long enough, you would know that we always start from here, the USD index, to understand the direction of the dollar itself. And then we can start relating this to the rest of the major peers as well. All right. And the assets that are correlated with the USD index, whether positively or negatively. All right. So This is USD index again on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame. Okay. Um. So it's as if we want to see the first higher low for USD index since the beginning of 2025. It has been incredibly bearish. All right, it has been bearish, and then same for the first time, we're going to get a higher low for the USD index. Okay, so if you look at what we have here on the 1 hour time frame, okay, we got this low here, we got this low right here, right? And I remember at this time, I was telling us that this would be the bottom for the USD index, and then of course it's been pushing higher. Okay, and it's looking as if we're going to get the first higher low for USD index. So we've seen this low, we've seen this high, all right? From this bottom, we see this high, this higher low, right? And then hopefully this gives us a higher high, okay? Higher high. So at least have some confirmation that the uptrend is about to start. It's about to snap. It's one that we've had eyes on for quite some time now. And then hopefully plays out as we expect, because in the beginning of 2025, we're now seeing a higher low for USD index. Okay, so what this also means is that from this higher low, we expect a new high. All right, we expect a new high. It should close at some point higher than this previous high that was created right here. All right, and if that's the case, what it means is that the likes of Euro USD and Pound USD uh, would start getting bearish, all right, start creating lower prices. Okay, so currently we have a strong USD on our hands, right? It's still not fully confirmed, though, still not fully confirmed. But like I said, we've seen this low, we've seen this high, we see higher low, and then we expect this to close at some level that will be higher than this previous high, okay, to confirm the higher high, and then we can start gearing up for more upside movement, okay? So that's the bias that I have for USD index, okay? Again, what would invalidate this as well would be if we get it close back below this 99 support level. All right, if we get it close back below this 99 support level, then uh, we may see a much deeper uh, fall to the downside. Okay, we may see a much deeper fall if in the event that we get it close below 99 support level. All right, but as long as this continues to push higher, then continue to target buys for USD index. Of course, we may not trade this directly, but with this in mind, we can then get bearish on Euro USD, Pound USD, and some other uh, major pairs. Okay, so that's it for the USD index. With that in mind, we now head to uh, Euro USD, which is the next asset that I have for us. Okay, uh, hold on. Euro USD. Oh, okay. Right. This is Euro USD. This is Euro USD. Okay. Right. This here is the second entry that I have for sale. The second entry that I have for sale. The first one, he's take profit already. So when I saw this pullback, I had to go in again for a sale. And it's, of course, in a good profit right now. The sale was from this level. Okay. That's for Euro USD. And like I said, because of the strength that we currently see in the dollar index, That's why it would be ideal to target sales for Euro USD and even pounds USD. Okay. Now for Euro USD, this is the daily time frame. This is what it looks like on the daily time frame. Now you remember we had this period of consolidation, okay, for Euro USD, ranging between 14,250 and 12,750, all right, for a long period of time. Okay. Now fast forward to here. Recently, price returned to that high of the consolidation. Okay, returned to the high of the consolidation, and then it's also giving us here on the 4 hours time frame a head and shoulder pattern. Okay, uh, head right here. We have the leg shoulder right here, and then the right shoulder right there. Okay, and all of this is happening at resistance, okay, the high of the consolidation that we got, okay, the high of that consolidation, all right? So if you already have a sell trade here, low price hit resistance, give us some bearish patterns at the resistance. That was the trigger to short Euro USD, okay? So if you didn't catch that, of course, there will still be some opportunity. And what you need to wait for would be a break below the neckline. All right. So what you now need to watch out for. Just a second. I'm trying to announce it to your us. Right. So what we now need to see, if you are not in the buy already and you would like to take advantage, sorry, if you are not in the sell already and you would like to take advantage of the sell, what we now need to see, because of this head and shoulder, what we now need to see would be a break below this neckline, all right? Would be a break below this neckline. As many of us that are interested in shorting Euro USD, that may be uh, the most ideal time to short Euro USD. So what we now need to see here as a result of this head and shoulder pattern would be a break below this neckline. All right. Once price or sellers are able to take out that support, which is the neckline of the head and shoulder pattern, then that would be the trigger to short Euro USD. Now this is the 4 hours time frame. We can zoom down to even the 30 minutes time frame. We can tune down to the 30 minutes time frame. And again, what we look out for will be the break of this neckline to trigger our sell entry for Euro USD. All right. Yeah, for me, my take profit is somewhere here. Then I'm going to be trailing this as much as possible until that take profit. I'm going to be trailing it as much as possible until that take profit. Okay. If I get it close below this neckline and increase the sell position, if I get it close below this neckline, I'm going to increase that sell entry, all right, to take maximum advantage of that move to the downside, all right. So that's for Euro USD. That's for Euro USD. Okay. And of course, I'll be checking the chat box at intervals. If you have questions, you can drop them. And then by the time I go over the uh, 3 or 4 assets that I have for us, then chat box will be open for us to drop our own assets that you would like us to look at for today. Okay. So that's it for Euro USD. I hope we got that. So let's move on. Okay, before we move on away from USD, you remember this trend line that we highlighted on the monthly time frame, right? You remember this trend line that we highlighted on the monthly time frame. Now, I'm only just pointing this out to us. Remember that we do not really pay attention to the weekly or monthly time frame as day traders, all right? You can use it to get some perspective in the market. You can use it to understand key levels, but we really don't pay attention to it as it doesn't have much relevance to our trading activity, especially as day traders. Okay, so having said that, back to this monthly time frame. Uh, eventually, eventually, it's still quite fast, still quite fast. So let's not make reference to that right now. It's still quite a distance to that trend line. Okay, still quite a distance. But if you look at this one on the daily time frame, if you look at this one on the daily time frame, I'm going to highlight it so that it's more obvious. Right. If you look at this one on the daily time frame, uh, of course, ideally should be uh, the targets for that sell. Okay, should be the target for that sell. So what that means is that as soon as prices are approaching that trend line, and be forced to exit that sell entry that I had. Okay, because of that trend line. You see how much that trend line has supported price. Okay, since this period. February, since February, this same trend line has supported price multiple times. Okay, so it's not one to ignore, right? It's not one to ignore. So what that also means for me is that as soon as prices are pushing that trend line, I want to take out the sell entry that I have and then wait for a break below the trend line for more sell opportunities for SD. All right. So again, for those of us who probably don't have a sell entry yet, what you need to wait for would be a break below this support. All right, be a break below this support to short Euro USD. All right, to short Euro USD. So moving on to pounds USD, moving on to pounds USD. Now for pounds USD, it's one that I'm also watching very closely because of the similarity that we have between this current price and what we got back in 2024 September. All right. Now, I've also mentioned this a couple of times on this forum. This right there, 1.32500, this level here, of course, is an important key level for pounds USD, right? We'll see how that same level is lifted price right there, and then we got some pullback that gave rise to this higher high. All right. Now, this higher high, of course, obviously closed above uh, 32,500 level, closed above it, but almost immediately closed back below it. All right. Of course, this is typical of a fake out. And fake outs like this usually triggers an aggressive move in the opposite direction. And this gave rise to over 1,000 pips right there. Okay. Now, fast forward to what we got here currently. Price closed again above 32,500 level, got resisted by 1.34400, just like we got here, all right? And then closed back below 32,500. But unfortunately, the next candle was a bullish engulfing one, and then that gave rise to uh, this push to the upside, okay? Uh, Rated over 300 pips right there. So currently, price is now above 1.3440, which was resistance initially. So what I need to see here for pounds USD would be a break back below 1.344 support. All right. If I see that, then what it would mean is that the whole of the price level here would also be a fake out. All right, be a fake out, and I'm sure fake outs are not new to us on this forum. It's one that I've also mentioned multiple times. It occurs when price breaks above or below a significant level, only to reclaim it very quickly. All right, which have been able to highlight to us even with this pounds USD chart. Okay, for instance, this uh level here at 1.32500. See this horizontal line is a key level for pounds USD. Price closed above it and then closed back below it. All right. So that gave us this fake out. And I've also pointed out that fake outs like this usually triggers an extensive move in the opposite direction. And that's the reason I have eyes on pound to USD right here. So what I need to see to confirm that would now be a break back below 34,400, right? This horizontal line here. You need to see it close back below that level. Okay. First, I have the first confirmation, which was a break below this trend line. All right. Here it was support. Right here it was support as well. And then we saw this confluence of support here as well. But now we now have a break below that trend line. Okay. That's the first confirmation. The second one will now be a break below this support at 34,400. So once I see that, that would be a trigger to short pounds USD. That would be my trigger to short pounds USD. This is the daily time frame. Of course, again, this is the daily time frame as an anchor chart. In my opinion, I like to start from here. I believe it's the best place to start. Because on the daily time frame, we can determine the trend and also important key levels, the important support and resistance levels. So I usually use the daily time frame as my anchor chart where the main analysis is carried out. I can then tune down to a much lower one for entry opportunities. Okay. So having said that, I mean, I highlighted this for us on the daily time frame. I can tune down to say 1 hour or 30 minutes and it remains the same. What I need to say again would be a break below the support level at 1.34400. And then that would be a trigger to short pounds USD. Thank you, Adewe, for that. The call is good to have you join us. All right. So far, we've been able to touch on Euro USD and pounds USD. Again, don't forget, should you have any questions relating to these two assets or the other ones that we still look at, please do not hesitate to drop them. All right, do not hesitate to drop them. Okay, so USD JPY, USD JPY. Okay, now for USD JPY, because of the strength, the current strength that we have for the USD, and USD is the base currency here for USD JPY. What that means is that to take advantage of that strength, and they'll be looking for opportunities to buy to long USD JPY. Okay, and if you look at this chart, okay, let's start from the daily time frame, which is our anchor chart. Let's start from the daily time frame. Okay, so initially, you see from this bottom at 140 key level, okay, from this bottom here, 140 key level, we got this high, right? And then there was a higher low. We got a higher high. Just stay with me. We got higher low, and yet again a higher high. Okay, typical of an uptrend, giving us series of higher lows and higher highs. Now, after this most recent higher high, what we expected we're going to see was a higher low so that it can give rise to a new higher high. But unfortunately, it didn't quite play out like that. It didn't quite play out like that. Ideally, this uptrend was to continue. We should have continued to see higher lows and higher highs. That same structure. Okay. But unfortunately, we didn't get this side. Probably going to highlight it for USD JPY. We didn't get this part of the new. Instead, it did lower. All right, it did lower. Okay, lower than this previous low here. All right. by a few pips. Okay. Now, we found support at 142 key level. All right, found support here, and then uh, we got this. All right, again. Now, if you look at this trend right here, you look at this trend. Of course, this is a push to the downside, give us a lower high, right? Give us a lower high. And then ideally for that lower high, again should have created a lower low. Okay. Now this is the daily time frame. We're trying to, of course, again, these daily time frames are anchor chart where we understand direction, structure, and things like that so that we can have a much better grasp of what's going on in the market. All right. So for USD JPY, we got this move to push to the downside, created a lower high, and then ideally for the downtrend to continue, this should have given us a lower low. But again, we didn't quite get that. Stopped at the same level, creating a double bottom pattern. All right. And then we now see price beginning to push higher thanks to the recent strength that we have for the dollar. Okay. Right, it's back. Sorry about that. The network got disconnected for a second. Okay. Just a second. I'm trying to share the screen. Okay, it's back. Right. So we're still on USD JPY. We're still on USD JPY. All right. So again, on the daily time frame, we got this push to the downside, found support at 142 key level, pushed higher, gave us a lower high, and then I did. If this were to remain a downtrend, then we would have gotten a lower low, but that didn't happen. Stopped here, and that gave us double bottom pattern, and now we're beginning to see a push to the upside, okay, for USD JPY. Now let me take out all of this just for illustration purpose, right? Okay, so this is the daily time frame, and then we have between 145 resistance and then 144 support. Okay, so let's get to 1 hour time frame. Let's also see what we have for moving out. Okay, above moving out. Very good. All right. So this is the 1 hour time frame. This is the 1 hour time frame. We've seen a pullback to the moving average. We've seen a pullback to the moving average. So on this 1 hour time frame, at the end of this current candle, by the time it's fully formed, if it remains bullish, that means it has potential to push higher. All right, it has potential to push higher from the current level. If we get a bullish candle at the end of this hour, okay? 30 minutes, let's see what it looks like. Okay, right, see how it's beginning to push higher from the current level, all right? 30 minutes candle has already closed, it's bullish, all right? So we expect the push to the upside to continue for USD JPY, all right? Next up, we have USD CHF. It's also one that's eyes on USD CHF. Okay. Again, for obvious reasons, yeah, also remember that I mentioned this because price for the past 10 years has stayed between 0.84. Just slowly here. I'm going to change the color so it's more obvious. Right. Price has stayed above this 0.84 for about 10 years, all right? Traded above 0.84. If we continue to check, we'll see that for the past 10 years, at no point the price go below 0.84 level, all right? And then fast forward to what we got here, fast forward to what we got here, with this bearish candle, uh, this was 10th of April, okay? Eventually price broke below 0.84, all right? Broke below 0.84. And currently found support at 86.53. And from there, it's beginning to push back up, all right? So we saw this high, give us this low, pushed higher again, created a higher high, all right? And then currently price is back at this same area, okay? Price is back at this same area, okay, which is the support level, all right? So above 0.82, above 0.82, we can continue to look for buy opportunities above 0.82, all right? What would again invalidate this would be a break below 0.82 support level, all right? As long as buyers remain in control, pushing price above 0.82, then you can expect more upside push from USD CHF. Okay, now this is the daily time frame. That's the structure, that's the direction. And then head to a lower one, stay 1 hour, even 30 minutes for entry opportunities. Okay, so currently, price pulled back to the 50-period moving average and then it pushed higher, and now it's beginning to even push lower from that level, right? So, for instance, we can have this level as a support at 30 minutes. So let's see, looking at 0.822 level. So let's see how more touches are that. Okay, we do have same level here, 0.822. Even here, and here as well. Okay, so that's a significant level. So what that means is that this is a key level. This is a key level for USD CHF. All right. So at this level now, we'll be looking for bullish patterns from this support level. All right. We need to see some bullish patterns, bullish reversal pattern from this support level. All right. And then price is also above the 50-period moving average, which signifies strength. Okay. We now need more confirmations at this support. All right. So that can be our trigger to long USD CHF. All right. From this support level. Okay. So as soon as I see that, it will be a good opportunity to long USD CHF. Right. Any questions so far based on the instruments we've been able to touch on? If you have questions, it will be a great time to start dropping them in the chat box. Okay. Okay. For NZD-USD, because for this pair, USD is the counter currency here, NZD is the base currency, and if we expect dollar to continue to push higher and being the counter currency here, what it means is that we can expect NZD to continue to push to the downside. Okay, and interestingly, it's recently hit resistance at 0.60. 500 hit resistance here. Okay, again, this is daily time frame, hit resistance here, and then that would mean that we look for sell opportunities below 0.6500. What would invalidate that is if we get it through back above this resistance. But for now, because price has hit resistance at 0.6500, you can look for opportunities to sell. Because we currently have a strong dollar, all right? Because we currently have a strong dollar, which is around, this is 30 minutes. Okay, so even for NZD-USD, it's recently broken this support level. Okay, recently broke below the support level, and then you can continue to expect further push to the downside for NZD-USD. USD CAD. Okay, we mentioned USD CAD a couple of times here as well. For one, we got this 2-year long consolidation from 2022 right here to 2024. We eventually got a break to the upside. All right, got this 2-year long consolidation from resistance to support, back to resistance, back to support, resistance, support, and this lasted for 2 years and eventually broke to the upside, created close to about close to 1,000 pips right there, right? And again, recently also saw this case of consolidation between resistance here at 1.445, so resistance at 1.445 and support at 1.43. All right, also saw another phase of consolidation and eventually it broke to the downside. And now, what is significant here is the fact that if you look at this 1.387 level, look at this 1.387 level, it was the resistance of this 2-year long consolidation, all right? Was the resistance of that consolidation phase that lasted for about 2 years. And currently, price is now back inside of that range. Okay, price is now back inside of that range. Okay, also have this trend line here. Let me see. Okay, started from here as resistance, here as resistance as well. Then here. Okay, and currently a few pips away from that trend line, price is now beginning to push to the upside. Okay, to push to the upside. All right, I believe this must be as a result of the current strength that we have in the dollar. Ideally, I would want to wait for price to come back to this trend line here, push back to that trend line. All right. However, it is important to trade what we see. It is important to trade what we see. Now, this is the daily time frame. Let's get to 1 hour to see what it looks like on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so on the 1 hour time frame, we have structure of trend. Okay, same level here. And then feedback. And now we have the push higher. Okay, the 1 hour time frame. So we have resistance here. And then we have here as well. Right. Now, with this in mind for USD CAD, what I need to see to expect this to continue to push higher will be a close above on the 1 hour time frame above this level here. All right. This area between these two lines is the resistance area. Okay. So I need to see price take out this resistance. First of all, take out this first one here and then this one to have to confirm that this will continue to push higher. I need to see price take out this resistance right here. All right, I need to see price take out that resistance. Or if we get okay, that's disappeared. Or from this current level, we get some retracements. We get some retracements. That would also be the trigger to go long. If what we get is a retracement, that would also be the trigger to go long. But it would be more interesting to see price take out that resistance, and then that would be the entry for buy. Price taking out that resistance, price taking out that resistance. Except you're an aggressive trader, that's the only reason you jump straight in for a buy at this current level. Number one, you want to wait for price to choose to this support, and then you have a good risk reward ratio from there. Or you see price take out this resistance at 1.3790 for USD. All right, so we've been able to look at that. I hope you got that for okay. All right, next up, check gold. What do we have on gold? Where do we have on gold? We start from yeah, I remember it was someone on this forum that pointed out this trend line, all right? That pointed out this line here during the last session here. And interestingly, it played out really well. You see price pulled back to that trend line, all right? You see price pulled back to that trend line. I think it was Eddie during the last section pointed out. I don't know if Eddie is here today. I don't know if Eddie is here. I think it was Eddie that pointed out this trend line, all right? It was on the 4 hours time frame. Yeah, it was like 4 hours time frame at the time, all right? And then I remember saying that we now have a good basis for where we expect that fall to get to during the last session, right? And interestingly, that played out as expected. All right. See that same trend line supporting price here. And now it's beginning to push to the upside. It's beginning to push to the upside. All right. Now, this level here at 33.20 initially was resistance. See multiple attempts at that same level here and then here as well. Okay. Here as well. So that's 33.20 level. All right. So currently prices are above that 33.20 resistance. Okay. So this automatically becomes support. All right. For price. This becomes support for price. So what this means is that as long as it stays above 33.20, then we can expect further push to the upside for gold. You can expect more push to the upside for gold. But in the event that we get it goes back below the 320, then that would be bearish for gold. That would be bearish for gold. This is for our time frame. Let's switch to 30 minutes to see what it looks like. Okay, so on the 30 minutes time frame, we still have our 3320 support level here. Then currently price is also above the 50 period moving average, which further signifies strength. Okay, which further signifies strength. Okay, so this is the next level to watch for resistance. This level at around 33.37, which is the next one to watch for resistance. So from the current level, number one, if we get a retracement, back to 33.20, then the system bullish patterns at that level. All right. That retracement to 33.20 or the 50 period moving average. And then we also need to wait for some bullish confirmations if that happens. And then that will be a trigger to long road. Or if we don't get a retracement and instead price continues to push higher from the current level, this will be the resistance to watch as well as the 337 for gold. Okay. All right. That's about the assets that I have for us today. So if you would like me to recap on any of the ones we've been able to touch on so far, or you have assets that you still want us to uh, look at, please, it's a good time to drop them. It's a good time to drop them. Uh, you respond for what's happening with respond. Okay. So for US 100, I remember telling us that above 21,000 level is bullish. Resistance at 22,143. Okay. Resistance at 22,143. Right. 30 minutes. Okay. Currently, um, we saw this aggressive sell. All right. We saw this aggressive sell. And currently prices also below 50 period moving average. All right. This signifies weakness. All right. Below 50 period moving average. Okay. So what we need to see here to further confirm that, to further confirm the weakness here. Okay. What we need to see, this is 30-minute time frame, would be a sustained break below this support right here. All right. Would be a sustained break below this support. What that means is that we need to see price close below that support and continue to push lower below that support. All right. That's what I mean by a sustained break below that support. However, if from this current level we see a bullish reversal pattern from this support level, okay, then it has the potential to push to the upside. If we get a bullish reversal pattern from this support level, it has potential to push to the upside from that support. So currently, this level here is acting as support, all right, and we do not want to be selling at support. That's why number one, we may have to wait for price to break below that support, and then that would be our trigger to short. Or if we see bullish reversal patterns from this support level, then that would also be our trigger to long the S100 from support level. All right. Thanks, I hope you got that. Coincidentally, it's what we just looked at. It's what we just looked at. And then, okay, pounds JPY, pounds JPY. What do we have? Pounds JPY. Just a second. Then daily. Okay. Let's see if we get another one from the outside. Okay, very good. All right. So for pound CPY, I'll be looking out for the direction in which this breaks out. Be looking out for the direction in which this breaks out. For one, 194,500 here is support. 194,500 here is support. And then the C price approaching that support level. This is daily time frame. We're using this to understand the structure and the direction here. All right. So 194,500 is our support level. And if the current price pushed to 194,500, we get a reversal pattern from that level. Then we long pound JPY from support, all right, at 194,500. Okay, let's see what it looks like on 1 hour 30 minutes. Okay, this is 30 minutes. So again, we're interested in price pushing to 194,500, all right, which would be our support. Yeah, that's for pounds JPY. That's for pounds JPY. On the 30 minutes time frame, we also have one there. On the 30 minutes time frame, we also have one right here. Okay. So what this also means is that on this 30 minutes time frame, we get a break below this support, then we have more confidence that the price will push to 194,500. And then if you are interested, that would also mean shorting below this support here, all the way to 194,500. Okay. Also means shorting below 194,887. All right. Shorting below 14887 for pounds JPY. And then we can expect price to push all the way to 194,500 support. Oh yeah, Eddie is finally here. Yeah, for me, I'm more of a price action trader. I uh, use the external indicators at some point to get additional layer of confirmations. That's what I do. So you'll find me using trend lines, using moving averages, just to have more confirmation. But I like to look at the overall structure, the price action, and then make my trade decisions. I mean, I'll use indicators for additional layer of confirmations. Okay. And Eddie, I hope you caught that move on gold from that last time. I hope you caught that. All right. So this would be a good place to call it a day for today. This would be a good place to draw the curtain for today. We've been able to touch on a number of assets, uh, those that would likely present opportunities for today and even for the rest of the week. All right. I hope you've been able to mark the important levels, you've been able to note them. And then, of course, I wish us a great trading day. All right. Have a fantastic one. Again, thank you very much for joining us today. Tomorrow will be another session for the morning market review. Do join us same time. Thank you very much. I wish us a great trading.